The 2016 Chevrolet Detroit Belle Isle Grand Prix is racing into town this weekend for 3 days of action-packed fun. This morning, I'm joined by Eric Curran, last year's Belle Isle IMSA sports car winner. Thank you so much for
having me,
us
Keith.
this
Appreciate
morning. You and your teammate Dane won last year in the sports car race. What does it take to win on a race like Belle Isle? We're driving on streets as opposed to sort of a more manicured course.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, this is a big weekend for us, and the Chevrolet Sports Car Classic takes place. Our race is on Saturday afternoon, about noontime, 12:30, and it's a tough track. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a temporary circuit, so different than a lot of big tracks where have permanent track that lives there all year long. This is kind of built for the race weekend, so there's concrete walls brought in and we make a track out of it. The tricky thing about it in our wheel and engineering Corvette is that you're up against the walls all the time, 170 miles an hour, 6 inches from the walls, trying to race for position. But, we came through last year and it was a big win for us. It was the first win of the year for us last year. And if you're driving a Chevrolet, you probably want to win this race at the Chevrolet
I think so.
Classic.
I think so. But it sounds like the course will be a lot less forgiving. You mentioned 6 inches, whereas, you're right up against concrete.
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Some good views of it. It's a really tough race, but it's a lot of fun, and there's so much support by Chevrolet here, and just the vibe, and 100,000 people coming here throughout the weekend, and you can buy tickets at DetroitGP.com. So I'd love to have as many fans out as we can. But there's our red and white wheel and engineering Corvette right there.
There
we
go.
go.
I
Hello.
like that.
There's me waving to you guys.
So you looking at you. So let's.
There we go. Making a pass.
How much time do you get to learn this course?
Well, it's tricky. There's other tracks that we go to that we can go, say, a month ahead of time and do some testing. This track only exists this weekend, so they're probably still setting it up now. So it's tricky. I mean, the good thing is for me is that I've been racing here for a number of years, so you get a fair amount of experience. But there's one of our passes there from last year, but on our teammates. But it's a tough place. I mean, there's concrete walls all over the place, and it's easy to get it wrong at 170 miles an hour. And
it sounds like if you get it wrong at 170, it sounds awfully.
Those walls aren't very forgiving. I'll tell you that.
They don't give much. Now we know you got a chance to visit some sites on Belle Isle the last time you were here. How unique is it to race on an island park, or are there other races on your circuit that are anything like this?
I mean, the only one close to this is like the Long Beach Grand Prix is similar, where that's kind of a temporary course that they build on the streets of Long Beach. But, this is very special for us, again, because there's so much support and so much coverage by Chevrolet. And, we come here, we do a lot of promotion for this event, and we do, lots of media stuff with you guys. And, it's a big deal for us, and especially, just being in a Chevrolet and being in the hometown of Chevrolet. And all the events that we're doing. We're visiting a hospital today, we're doing radio interviews, and it's just a big push, and I just love this event, and I've been a Chevrolet driver for 15 years, so this is one of our big events for sure.
And one final question before we get out of here. Lots of people know like IndyCar, where it's just the car and the driver. But in sports cars, it's a team. How does that work? Explain that to our viewers.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we have two drivers. So Dane Cameron and I drive the same car in the same race. So, what we'll do is I'll drive half the race, he'll drive half the race. So when we come in to do a pit stop, like you'd see in a NASCAR race or an IndyCar race, the only difference is one of us jumps out, the other guy jumps in, finishes the race. So it's almost like a relay race.
Okay.
So you're doing it together as a team, but you still have pit stops and, and tires and fuel and all those things. So, but it just makes for a fun event.
Thank you so much,
Thanks for
Eric,
having
for
me.
joining us. You can see the Detroit Belle Isle Grand Prix right here on Channel 7. It's this weekend, June 3rd through the 5th on Belle Isle. Tickets are still available at
DetroitGP.com. Come out on. We'll be racing around noontime on Saturday.
All right, after the break, we'll take a look at the forecast.